One thing about me is I love buying things, especially things that I literally don't need. And as an Animal Crossing fanatic, I am a huge advocate for their merchandise. Like this towel, these plushies, and these Lego sets. The thing is though, I never really knew the extent of the merchandise until I stumbled across these Instagram accounts that displayed their huge collection of Animal Crossing toys. As I looked around their accounts, I experienced a mix of joy followed by a little bit of jealousy. However, my main thought was, what are these toys and how come I haven't really seen them before? This led me to do some digging and discovering that there are a lot of Animal Crossing toys that go back as far as the year 2001. So I decided to share this knowledge of these toys with all of you. Hey guys, today I'm going to be covering the complete history of Animal Crossing toys and going over every era from 2001 to now. You may be thinking to yourself, there can't be that many. Well, you'd be very mistaken. I want to give a quick shout out to Cozyberru and Islandershannon for all their help with this video. Without them, I wouldn't have got a lot of the information I have for this video. Their links will be in the description and you should definitely check out their accounts and their collections. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Some disclaimers before we start. I would say this is mostly the complete history because it was pretty difficult to find every single toy that has ever been released, but I think I got most of them. I know there's probably gonna be some that I missed, so just let me know. Another thing, I'm really only covering toys like plushies, keychains, figurines, all that kind of stuff. I feel like those are the things that people are like looking for most. I'm not gonna be going over things like clothes, mugs, and notebooks and stuff like that. Also, I'm not going to be talking about amiibos because I've already made a video talking about them, so you can go watch that if you want. Whew, okay, I think I got everything out of the way. Let's get going. With me today, I have this presentation I made that kind of looks like something I would have made in high school the day before the project was due, and in reality, I didn't forget about it. I just pushed it off to the last minute, but I'm gonna tell people I just forgot about it. So first things first, how did I get this information? It took a lot of digging on the internet to find this information. One of the biggest things I used for this was the Wayback Machine. Now, if you don't know what the Wayback Machine is, basically it's a digital archive of the World Wide Web. You can put in almost any website link and see past versions of what it looked like during a certain period. Like you could put in, I don't know, google.com and you could find what it looked like in 2005 if you wanted. Besides the Wayback Machine, I did just use the internet to find some information, so I'll be specifying where I found the toys as we continue. First, we have the Animal Forest era, or just the original Animal Crossing era that went from 2001 to 2004. For each era, I'm going to be listing some key highlights that I think are important to take into account. First things first, Animal Crossing's popularity was still mostly concentrated in Japan. So naturally, all the merch from this era was released there exclusively. Next, you couldn't just walk into a retail store and buy a lot of these toys. Most of them were only obtainable through UFO machines or claw machines. This leads to the next point, that these toys are super rare because of how limited they were. You can buy them online now, but they're pretty expensive. Lastly, tracking down these release dates was not easy at all. I actually had to go through the Wayback Machine and go to the official Animal Crossing website from this time just to find information. That's actually how I was able to piece together the release dates for this era. Whenever I was just digging through the Wayback Machine, I stumbled across this section on the official Animal Crossing website called Related Goods, and that brought me to all of the release dates for this era of toys. So the first ever set of plushies that were released were Peanut, Mitzi, Male, Copper, and KK Slider. These plush toys were released exclusively in Japan on April 30th, 2002. What makes them special is that they were never sold in stores. They were only available as Crane game prizes. Next, we have the Let's Make a Forest figure collection Volume 1, which came out on May 23rd, 2002. This set was produced by Takara and consisted of small 3cm figures that came packaged in tiny, colorful, house-shaped boxes. Each set included one character figure and 3 pieces of furniture or accessories along with wallpaper to create a mini display scene. Following that is the Collection Mascot Keychains Part 1, which was released on May 31st, 2002. This series featured the same 5 characters from Plush Set 1, but in smaller keychain format. Next is Plush Set 2, which launched on July 19th, 2002. This second wave included Rover, June, Mr. Rossetti, Blue Bear, and Porter. These continue to follow the trend of only being available in Crane machines. The Let's Go to the Forest figure collection Volume 1 followed shortly after, releasing on July 20th, 2002. This time, this capsule toy set was made by Epic. Unlike the earlier figure sets, these were gacha style toys, meaning you'd get a random character in every single capsule. There were 5 in total: Boy Villager, Girl Villager, Tom Nook, KK Slider, and Caviar, which is Kiki. Next, we have the Animal Crossing Plus Plush Toys series, released on July 27, 2002 by Sane. This line featured 5 characters: the Boy Villager, Girl Villager, Rossetti, KK Slider, and Porter. Unlike previous plushies that were Crane game prizes, these were sold commercially. These plushies were among the first widely available Animal Crossing toys outside of arcade machines. This slide features the second wave of Collection Mascot Keychains, released on August 9th, 2002. Just like the first set, these were only available as amusement prize goods and came packaged in these blister packs. The characters in this set include June, Rover, Porter, Blue Bear, and Rossetti. Moving on, we have the Animal Crossing Plus Soft Vinyl Keychain Collection, which came out in late August 2002. These were also amusement prizes, but this time they were made by a different company called Banpresto. The figures included Bunny, KK Slider, Tom Nook, Porter, Peanut, Rossetti, and Rover. The next set of plushies were the Stuffed Animal Big line, which launched on September 27th, 2002. These were just larger versions of popular characters. These were also, once again, only available in amusement arcades. Now we come to Plush Set 3, released on October 11th, 2002. This set featured Tom Nook, Bunny, Jingle, Aurora, and Blathers. These, once again, were only available in claw machines. We have the third wave of the Collection Mascot Keychains, which was released on November 12th, 2002. This set included the same characters featured in Plush Set 3, but now in smaller keychain form. This next slide features the second edition of the Animal Crossing Plus Plush Toy series, released by Sane on November 26th, 2002. This one included the Boy Villager and Girl Villager, one holding a fishing pole and the other holding a bug catching net. This next slide is a bit interesting since this was one of the only sets of toys that I couldn't find on the official website. I couldn't tell if they were a part of a different series or just different variations of the previous one. This one featured the Boy and Girl Villager wearing different clothes and holding the opposite tools as the previous two. I did find this screenshot of this set specifically on a certain website, so I'm just going to conclude that they were released at the same time as the previous one. Next, we come to Plush Set 4, which came out on December 17th, 2002. This set featured 5 characters: Gulliver, Cherry, a Gyroid, Vesta, and Captain. This one's unique because this was the first time there was a character that was different, like the Gyroid. Alongside that, we have the fourth wave of the Collection Mascot Keychains, released on January 21st, 2003. This set, just like the other ones, mirrored Plush Set 4, and it's just the keychain size versions of that plush set. Next, we have an expansion to the Let's Make a Forest figure series titled New Figure Collection 20, which was released by Takara on February 13th, 2003. This release added 20 new characters to the existing lineup and featured costume variants from previous figures along with new faces. Each box came with 1 character and 1 Animal Crossing Plus e-card. This slide just expands on the Let's Make a Forest line, with the boys and girls set released on that same day. Next is the Let's Go to to the Forest Home Set 1 and 2, which were also released on the same day as the previous two sets. These were standalone house sets that worked as display bases for figures and furniture. Like the deluxe sets, the roofs were removable so you could customize the interior, and they also came with an e-card. Continuing the same expansion wave, this one featured the Raccoon Shop and Pete's Post Office from the same February 2003 release window. I couldn't find a picture of Tom Nook's shop, but that's the post office. Next is Let's Make a Forest, Let's Walk in the Forest Together. This was essentially just a fold-out field mat where you could arrange figures, houses, and shops to mimic the look of the forest floor. This was also released in February 2003. Man, I swear, February 2003, like, things were just going on. Things were crazy. I wasn't even born yet. Here is Plush Set 5, which came out on March 18th, 2003. This set introduced 5 more characters into the plush lineup: Sahara, Kiki, Midge, Pete, and Rossetti. Once again, these were just prizes and arcade machines. Next is Let's Make a Forest, Large House Sets 1 and 2, released on March 20th, 2003. These sets were larger than the previous house releases and allowed for more flexibility. The Captain's Boat figurine came next, which launched just a week later on March 27th, 2003. This figure set featured Captain riding in a small boat that actually moved thanks to a wind-up spring mechanism. Next, we have the Animal Crossing Plus plush toys. That's a tongue twister right there. Plus plush, plus plush. Say that 10 million times fast. This edition brought in 2 new versions of the boy and girl villagers, this time holding a shovel and an axe, and added new characters like Captain and Tom Nook. That same day also saw the release of the Let's Make a Forest New Figure Collection 10. This just included like holiday themed characters like Jack and the Snowman, new villagers, and yada yada yada. This just expanded basically. Continuing the expansion of the keychain line, we have the Collection Mascot Part 5. This set features Sahara, Kiki, Midge, Pete, and Rossetti. Now we move to the last plush set, which is Set 6, which came out late April 2003 as well. This wave included Tangy, Sable, Mabel, Pelly, and another release of KK Slider. And finally, we wrap up this era with Collection Mascot Keychains Part 6. This set, like usual, just mirrored the same plushies that came out in Plush Set 6, and this was released in late June 2003. Next is the Wild World era, which was from 2005 to 2007. When it comes to the Wild World era, this was a huge turning point for Animal Crossing's popularity. Even though the franchise was growing, merchandise was still fairly limited during this time. That said, toys and collectibles were starting to show up more in actual retail stores, not just as Crane game prizes, making them a bit more accessible to fans. This era was also by far the hardest to research. I tried going the same route I did with the previous era, where I just went to the official website and tried to find like the goods page or the related goods page. The thing is though, it wouldn't load certain parts of the Wild World website because you needed the Flash player to do it, and as we know, the Flash player isn't a thing anymore. It kind of sucks because a lot of old websites relied on the Flash player to load their websites and function, but since it's not a thing anymore, you can't get on them, even on the Wayback Machine. Most of the general release information I was able to find came from archived pages on Sony, Takara Tomy, and some Wayback Machine screenshots I did actually get. So while this period was important for the series, it's also kind of mysterious in some aspects, like, First is a new figure collection that features Mallory, Elvis, Brewster, Blanca, Sable, Mabel, and Aurora. These were released in April 2006, and I found them on the Takara Tomy website under product information. Also in April 2006, the Come On Animal Crossing Mini House Keychain set came out. The figurines came in these like tiny little houses and featured the girl, boy, Rover, Celeste, Pascal, and Harriet. A month later, in May 2006, another figure collection titled Come On Animal Crossing My House Collection was released. This set featured more houses, furniture, and villagers. Next is the first set of plushies for the Wild World era, released in September 2006. On the History of Sony trading page on their official website, I was able to find this release. It included the boy villager with a fishing pole and girl villager with a net, which were reminiscent of the other villager plushies. KK Slider, Rossetti, Pascal, Copper, and Booker were also in this set. Then in December of 2006, the Animal Crossing movie came out, which led to multiple lines of toys. The first ones were these movie character figures figurines along with the houses and furniture. I actually really love these sitting ones right here. I think they're super cute. That same month, these keychains with the characters and bottles were released. Here is the first plush set released for the movie by Banpresto. By being released by this company, it meant that these were actually arcade machine prizes like the ones from the previous era. For all of these plushies, I could not find them documented online literally anywhere. The closest I got was a screenshot from the Wayback Machine, which showed that the Animal Crossing movie was being advertised, but I couldn't load it because the Flash player doesn't work. But based on this screenshot, I'm going to infer that these also came out in December of 2006. Then we have more plushies that were released for this era by Banpresto and Bandai, meaning they were also in claw machines. I'm not going to go through them individually. You see them right here. I was able to find this next one on the Takara Tomy website, which was character keychains with a letter attached. These came out in January of 2007. Here are more of the bottle keychains featuring different characters that were released that same month. Now here's where things get a bit confusing. So these plushies right here were actually like plushies with a stamp on them, and they seem to be released by Tommy somewhere. Obviously the packaging is in English, so I would assume they were some of the first ever toys that were released outside of Japan. I could not find a release date or announcement for these literally anywhere. The exact release date is still unknown, but the packaging had a copyright date of 2007, so I'm just gonna assume that's when they came out. That same concept goes for these plushies as well. These were talking plush keychains, so when you press them, they started talking in Animalese. I also couldn't find anything, so just like the previous toys, I'm gonna say they were released sometime in 2007. And unfortunately, that same thing goes for these plushies right here because couldn't find them anywhere. Last but not least, we have the Super Deluxe plush set, which were just bigger versions of the plushies. Once again, they were from Banpresto, so they were most likely just claw machine prizes. I especially love this Rosie one. I love it. Now let's move on to the City Folk era, which was from 2008 to 2011. Some things to highlight would be there were not many toys from this era. It was most likely due to the unpopularity of this certain game and also the fact that I couldn't find anything anywhere. Cozyberru really helped me with some of the information from this era, so shout out to them. The first thing they sent me was this set of plushies by Banpresto in 2008. Once again, these were just claw machine prizes, but this is one of the first and only installments of Don Rossetti. And Don Rossetti is Mr. Rossetti's brother, if you didn't know. This is a little Animal Crossing lore. Next are these Let's Go to the City plushies by Tomy, which featured KK Slider, Rosie, and Bunny. They were pretty identical to the Wild World plushies, with only the box being different. I could not find any information on these whatsoever, but I would assume with the packaging being in English, they were released somewhere around here. The copyright date on these boxes was 2009, so maybe they came out then. Who knows? Here are these Let's Go to the City bell danglers. They're keychains, but they also have little bells on the end, hence the name bell danglers, of course. Once again, I could not find these anywhere online. I just stumbled across them on eBay and they looked official, so I was like, okay, well, the bell danglers, we got the bell danglers now. The copyright date on them is 2009, so maybe it came out in 2009. Who knows? Lastly, here is the only toy from this era that I can confidently say was released in April 2009. And I didn't find anything about any My House and Furniture collection, but I did find the Snap collection on the Takara Tomy website. And Cozyberru actually sent me this picture right here, which you can see this middle part right here has all the little houses and stuff, or yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Basically, these figures came with a backdrop along with furniture. Nothing crazy, but still pretty cool. Next is the New Leaf era from 2012 to 2016. Some highlights would be that New Leaf was very popular compared to the other games before. This caused a huge surge of new merchandise, but were still mainly coming out in Japan. Not only were more products being made, but the quality had improved so much. Now, this is where the world decided to shine its light on me and make things a lot easier. I was able to find most of these toys on the New Leaf official website. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all didn't even understand the time I took to do all this. And when I got to New Leaf and I was able to just be like this and it was there, I cried tears of happiness because I had spent hours trying to find everything for the past eras before that. And New Leaf, thank you, love you. That's why you're my favorite game. First, these are not really toys, but I thought they would be pretty cool to include. These are character touch pens or styluses that feature various characters that you could use for your 3DS. They came out on February 1st, 2013. Next isn't necessarily a toy either, but it's a plush type deal, so I'm just gonna consider it one, okay? We have the plush toy pass case set 1 that came out in mid-February 2013. They were designed to just hold your ID or cards, which I think that's pretty cool. Next was the first set of New Leaf plushies that came out in mid-February 2013. I actually have the Kicks and KK Slider ones, and I want to say I got them from Target a couple years back. When I translated the website, it said that these were called the Stumble plush set, and I'm not entirely sure what that means. Maybe it was just like a mistranslation. I have no idea, but yeah, Stumble. These were also released by Sony. Here we have one of the first instances where a toy was released outside of Japan and exclusively to the UK. If you pre-ordered New Leaf from this certain website, you would get this Isabelle and Town Hall figure. Next are these Animal Crossing reflector keychains by Tommy in April 2013. They're kind of just like see-through keychains, you know that. Here's some more keychains that are actually like figurines, and they came out on May 1st, 2013. Honestly, I love this Brewster one right here. Like, I kind of hashtag need that. Here's the plush toy pass case set 2 featuring Isabelle and Reese. I guess the first ones are more boyish, and these are the girly ones. They came out on July 1st, 2013. Next, on that same day, we have the Puzzle Collection by Tommy. The top row featured various KK Slider album art, and the bottom row featured just generic artwork from the game. Now here's one that wasn't listed on the official site, and I found it on the Takara Tomy website. This is the Character Stamp Collection Mermaid House. The house is acted as a container to hold your stamps and contains stationery to stamp on, along with some figurines of the girl, Villager, and Reese. This came out on July 2nd, 2013. Here's some more figurines with this same character stamp collection set. Next are these glittering crystal keychains by Bandai. They came out in early August 2013 and were sold in cube cell vending machines. On August 31st, 2013, they came out with more houses and furniture with characters like Static and Fauna. This next set of plushies came out mid-September 2013, and this is the first time I've seen this DJ KK plush. I included the prices on this one because the DJ KK one was more expensive, and I was like, oh, okay. Along with this same plush set came large versions of Isabelle, KK Slider, and Tom Nook. Then came more mascot collection keychains in October 2013. More figurines, but this time under the Outing collection in November 2013. It looks like you could piece all of these together to make like one big set. Next was another character stamp collection featuring the Boy Villager and KK Slider on December 30th, 2013. Now we're in 2014, but it wasn't until June 14th that more toys actually came out. This one was called the Balance World Game set and featured figurines and a scene that you could build. Another Balance World Game came out along with this set the same day, and it featured just more like girl characters, I guess. More mascot collection keychains came out in January 2016. I actually have the Butch one on my car keys. I had the Isabelle one too, but I don't know where that girl ran off to. Now here's where the toys started to be released internationally in spring 2016. We have the World of Nintendo figurines with the Boy Villager, KK Slider, and Tom Nook. I also found this set with all three of them included, but I don't know. I don't know what the difference in all these is, but yeah. Alongside that, we have the World of Nintendo plushies with Tom Nook, Timmy or Tommy, and Rover. These were also released in November of 2016. Next, the All-Star Collection was introduced with Isabelle, KK Slider, and Tom Nook. All-Star Collection keychains also came out at the end of November, featuring various New Leaf characters. Last but not least, here is a miscellaneous toy I found. These are called the Choco Egg minifigurines, and as the title suggests, it's like a chocolate egg with a toy in it. I'm gonna assume these came out during the New Leaf era because the artwork looks like New Leaf, but I couldn't find anything on them. I just kind of stumbled upon them on eBay, but they're official, I guess. They're official Nintendo stuff. So finally, we have the New Horizons era, which is currently ongoing from 2020. Some highlights would be that after the love that New Leaf got, New Horizons was immediately set to be very popular. This caused the hugest amount of merchandise to be produced worldwide. This time, it was more common to find these in retail stores, and since this is more recent, I found most of this information just online. The first instance of some type of toy was this Isabelle keychain you got from pre-ordering the game from Shop 4 Megastore. So the first real thing that was released were these Club Mochichi Junior plushies released in August 2020. Club Mochichi is known for their unique approach to plushies, usually featuring rounder designs to be more huggable. That's what it says on Google. So this set had big characters like Isabelle, Tom Nook, and other items like the bell and the leaf. Next, I found this Timmy and Tommy tissue box on the Japanese New Horizons site. No, I know it's not a toy technically, but it's still a plush of some sort, and like, look at it. It makes me want to cry and get those tissues out. And this also came out in August of 2020. Next was the first set of official New Horizons plushies featuring Isabelle, Tom Nook, and Timmy and Tommy. I found the release back on Sane's product information, and these came out in September of that year. In December, Club Mochichi released 15-inch plushies with even more characters. I have the Isabelle one, and it's actually pretty big, but it's at my house currently, and this is my apartment. Then came the first set of figurines, which were these friend or Tomodachi dolls. These were the first toys to come out in 2021, and they were made with this certain material that I don't know the name of, but they're like a softer figurine material. I don't even know. I remember seeing like these in Barnes & Noble for quite some time. Next, we have the first set of the All-Star Collection plushies for this era. Blathers, Celeste, Gulliver, Pascal, along with CJ and Flick all came out in July 2021. Then the Friend Dolls Volume 2 came out on September 27th. I thought this was so cool, but this is a piggy bank that resembles the ABD from the game. This came out in December. I found this Tom Nook kitchen timer on the Japanese website, and no, it's not a toy, I know, but like, isn't that cool? I also found this Gulliver plush from December of that year. Now here comes the All-Star Collection plushies, sets 3 and 4, featuring Chrissy, Francine, Hamlet, Lily, and Raymond. These all came out in April of 2022. Volume 3 of the Friend Dolls came out on May 9th, 2022. All-Star Collection sets featuring Marshall, Molly, Judy, Dom, and Audie came out in November of that year. Then we have the Lego sets. I want to say that this is probably one of the biggest collabs Animal Crossing has ever done. I mean, Legos are super popular, and Animal Crossing was like the perfect thing to like model Legos after. This first wave of these 6 sets of Legos came out on March 1st, 2024. Here are these Isabelle and Timmy and Tommy like alarm clocks, and I hashtag need that, literally need that now. The next set of Legos came out on August 1st, 2024. The most recent All-Star Collection plushies came out December of last year, and this includes Goldie, Sasha, and Stitches. Lego Sets Wave 3 came out on January 1st this year, and last but not least, Lego Sets Wave 4 came out August 2025. The end. For now. It actually might be the end of me. It's currently almost 5 a.m. In conclusion, there have been numerous toys that have been released for the Animal Crossing franchise. I think it's so interesting to see the evolution of these toys and how they became as mainstream as they are today. When it comes to merchandise for a brand, they can always be a powerful tool to use to boost engagement. I think these toys perfectly represent that. In the beginning, having them only be in arcade machines and Japan exclusively made the incentive to have these so much higher. As time went on and this game became more worldly known, the merchandise grew along with it. Now you can go to any Target or GameStop and probably find some sort of Animal Crossing toy. I know you could definitely find these Lego sets in any retail store. These, you can find them somewhere, I know you can. Also, the older toys from the early 2000s can still be found today online, but are pretty hard to come by. Like this original Mitzi one goes for $170. I still kind of need it though. Thank you guys for watching this video and let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about these toys and what do you think is in store for the next era? I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.